there comes a time when the noise of the world becomes too loud, when every heartbeat feels heavy, and your soul aches for silence. You search for peace, in people, in places, in achievements, but still something inside feels unsettled. That's because the peace you seek isn't out there. It's been inside you all along, waiting for you to return to it. True calm doesn't come from escaping the chaos. It comes from quieting it. The world around us is loud, filled with constant demands and endless comparisons. We often mistake silence for peace, thinking that if we run far enough from our problems, we will find rest. But the truth is, you cannot escape what lives within you. The heart becomes restless when it carries too many voices, the opinions of others, the weight of expectations, and the echoes of old pain. When you finally stop running and allow yourself to sit in stillness, something beautiful begins to happen. Beneath the noise, you start to hear the whisper of your soul softly calling you home. That inner voice has always been there, but it is drowned by distraction and fear. To hear it again, you must learn to be gentle with yourself, to breathe through the discomfort, and to face what you've been avoiding. Peace doesn't bloom in denial. It grows in awareness. The process of silencing the noise within is not about cutting yourself off from the world. It's about creating space for your heart to breathe. When you stop filling every moment with noise, music, screens, people, you create room for your soul to speak. That inner stillness becomes a sacred meeting point between you and your Creator, where clarity and calm are born. In that silence, you begin to realize that you were never alone, and that peace was never gone. It was simply waiting for you to slow down and listen. It takes courage to sit with your own thoughts, especially when they are heavy. But when you do, you learn that not every emotion is an enemy, and not every thought needs to be fought. Some feelings are just messengers, reminding you of where healing is needed. When you allow yourself to listen with compassion instead of resistance, you turn your heart into a safe place rather than a battlefield. That is where true calm begins, not in perfection, but in presence. And slowly, as the inner noise fades, you begin to feel lighter. You stop chasing peace as if it's somewhere outside of you. You start to see that every breath, every moment of awareness is an invitation back to stillness. The peace you've been searching for isn't in a new beginning or a different path. It's within you, waiting to be rediscovered through silence, surrender, and trust. So much of our pain comes from the illusion that we are in control. We plan every detail, hold on tightly to people and outcomes, and believe that if we just try harder, life will go the way we want. But the truth is, no matter how strong our grip, life unfolds according to a wisdom far greater than ours. The harder we try to control what was never meant to be ours, the heavier our hearts become. We exhaust ourselves trying to rewrite a story that was already written perfectly for our growth. There is a deep kind of peace that only comes with surrender. When you finally stop forcing and start trusting, you feel a weight lift from your chest. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means releasing what was never yours to carry. It's the realization that peace is not found in controlling every detail, but in trusting that every detail is already under control. The more you loosen your hold, the more your heart can breathe, and the more space you create for serenity to enter. Surrender doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you stop struggling against the flow of life. You still make effort, but with trust instead of fear. You still care, but without desperation. When you accept that not everything will go according to your plan, but always according to a higher one, you begin to walk through life with quiet strength. You understand that even detours have divine purpose, and even delays carry hidden blessings. In that acceptance, your soul begins to rest. You stop chasing peace in perfection and start finding it in patience. You stop questioning why things fall apart and start trusting that maybe they're falling into place. When your heart surrenders, it no longer needs to understand everything. It only needs to trust. And in that trust, you finally find the calm you were searching for all along. There is a kind of emptiness that no amount of worldly success, attention, or distraction can fill. You can chase every dream, reach every milestone, and still feel something missing inside. That emptiness isn't a flaw, it's a signal. It's your heart reminding you that it was never meant to live disconnected from its source. We spend so much of our lives feeding the body and the mind, but starve the soul. The heart was created to remember, to reflect, to stay anchored to the one who gave it life. When it forgets, no amount of noise can silence its longing. True healing begins the moment you return to that remembrance. When you pause in prayer, even for a few moments, you reconnect the broken threads between your heart and your Creator. The stillness of those moments allows the light of peace to seep back in. Reflection, remembrance, and sincere connection are not escapes from life. They are what make life bearable. In those quiet acts of turning inward, you begin to realize that your soul has always known where peace lives. It was simply waiting for you to come back. It's in those private conversations with your Creator where healing truly begins. No one sees the tears that fall in sujud. No one hears the silent prayers whispered in the depth of exhaustion, but He does. And with every moment of surrender, a layer of pain is lifted. The same heart that once ached begins to soften, not because the pain disappeared, but because it finally found a place to rest. The remembrance of the divine doesn't erase your hardships. It gives them meaning. And as you grow closer to that presence, something shifts within you. You stop depending on people to fix your brokenness. And you start realizing that peace is not something to chase. It is something you uncover when your heart aligns with its source. That alignment brings a kind of calm that no chaos can disturb. It is the quiet strength that allows you to stand firm even when life feels uncertain. Because now, your peace is no longer built on the world. It is built on connection with the one who never leaves. There will be days when calm feels far away, when your heart feels heavy, and the world seems to move faster than your ability to keep up. You will question why certain doors closed, why some prayers seem unanswered, and why peace feels distant. But peace is not the absence of pain or difficulty. It's the quiet strength that stays even when everything else shakes. Life was never meant to be one endless season of ease. Just as the earth moves through winter and spring, your soul too moves through cycles of loss, healing, and growth. When you stop fighting the natural rhythm of life, something inside you softens. You begin to see that not every storm comes to destroy you. Some come to cleanse you. The heartbreaks, the disappointments, the moments of waiting are not empty. They are shaping you into someone stronger, softer, and more awake. There is a hidden beauty in surrendering to what is, instead of constantly wishing for what was or worrying about what could be. Acceptance allows peace to enter the spaces where resistance once lived. Each hardship carries a quiet lesson. Sometimes it teaches you patience. Other times it teaches you trust. Some seasons strip you bare so you can finally see what truly matters, while others remind you how to bloom again. When you understand that every experience, both painful and peaceful, is part of your becoming, you no longer fear change. You start to embrace life as it is, knowing that every season holds divine wisdom that your heart may only understand later. And with time, you learn to rest even in uncertainty. You realize that peace doesn't arrive when everything is perfect. It arrives when you stop demanding that it should be. You learn to stand in the rain without losing your calm, to find gratitude even in the waiting, and to see the purpose hidden within every delay. This is the stillness that remains when you trust the rhythm of life, the peace that no storm can take away. Peace is one of the most delicate gifts of the heart, and it can easily be disturbed when we allow too much of the outside world to enter. Every day we are surrounded by voices, opinions, and distractions that pull us away from our inner stillness. The heart begins to feel heavy not because life is cruel, but because we give too much space to things that drain us. Comparison, gossip, resentment, and endless noise. Protecting your peace means being intentional about what you allow to touch your soul. It is not selfish to create boundaries. It is necessary for spiritual survival. Your energy is sacred, and it deserves to be guarded. Not everyone around you is meant to have access to the deepest parts of your heart. Some people carry negativity that seeps into your spirit, leaving you exhausted and unsure of yourself. When you learn to step back from such energies, you create room for light to enter again. Protecting your peace does not mean cutting people off in anger. It means choosing who gets the privilege of your presence with wisdom and grace. The thoughts you entertain also shape the atmosphere of your inner world. If you feed your mind with fear, comparison, and self-doubt, your peace begins to fade. But when you fill it with remembrance, gratitude, and patience, your soul starts to bloom again. What you watch, listen to, and speak all carry energy. The more mindful you become of these small choices, the more harmony you invite into your heart. Protecting your peace is not about isolation. It's about alignment with values, with truth, and with what nourishes your soul. When you begin to honor your inner world, you find that peace is not something fragile after all. It is something powerful. It becomes the quiet strength that allows you to walk through chaos without being shaken. You stop reacting to every disturbance because your heart now knows its safe place. Guard your peace like a treasure, for it is the foundation upon which love, clarity, and faith are built. The more you protect it, the more it protects you. There comes a time when you grow tired of searching for validation, for love, for peace in places that were never meant to give it. You begin to realize that no matter how far you go, no matter how much you achieve, there is always a quiet emptiness that follows you. That emptiness isn't a flaw, it's a reminder. It whispers to you that you have been looking everywhere, but within. The peace you've been longing for was never out there in the world. It has always been waiting inside you, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the layers of who you thought you had to be. Coming home to yourself begins when you stop running from your own reflection. It is when you start to sit with your pain instead of masking it, to listen to your heart instead of silencing it. You begin to see that healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been before the world told you otherwise. When you embrace your imperfections, your flaws, and your struggles with gentleness, your heart begins to open again. That openness becomes the doorway through which peace quietly enters. In that journey inward, you find that the heart has always known its path. It leads you back to your Creator, the source of all calm and clarity. Every moment of surrender, every tear shed in silence, every prayer whispered from exhaustion brings you closer to that sacred connection. When your heart realigns with the one who made it, the storms around you lose their power. You realize that peace was never about life becoming easy. It was about your heart finding its anchor in something eternal. And in that anchoring, you find your home. Not in a place, not in a person, but in a state of being where you are whole. Even when life is uncertain, you begin to walk through the world differently. calmer, softer, stronger. You no longer chase what doesn't belong to you because you have already found what matters most. The journey ends where it began, with you and within you. And in that quiet space of return, you discover the peace that was never truly lost, only waiting for you to come back. And so, the search comes full circle. After all the running, all the breaking, and all the healing, you realize that peace was never a destination. It was a presence, a quiet truth that lived within you all along. It was there in your deepest pain, in your quiet prayers, and in every moment you chose faith over fear. When you finally return to that stillness, you understand that nothing external can give you what already resides in your soul. The peace you seek is not found. It is remembered. And once you remember, you are home.